Good morning, Year 6. So we have made it to Friday. So today in today's maths lesson, we are going to be multiplying decimals by integers. Now we have looked at integers before, and you should not be afraid of the word, even though it's a little bit tricky. All it means is a whole number. So we are multiplying decimals by a whole number. It's just a very, very posh word for whole numbers. Okay then, so let's have a look at our warm-up maths to warm up your brains. So we have got here 3/10, add 3/10, add 3/10. 0.3, add 0.3, add 0.3. So we know that 3/10 is the same as 0.3. So if we did 0.3, 0.3, 0.3, and we added all of those up, we know that we would get, if I just draw my line, very tricky, there we go. And again, if we were to add these up, and I'm adding, oh dear, I think I need to just use my keyboard for that part. Here we go. Okay, if we are adding all those up, 3 add 3, I know is 6, add another 3, it is 9. Oh, what have I forgot to do? Forgot to put my decimal point in straight away. There we go. And then I know 0, 0, 0, add those all together, and we're still staying with 0. So I have just added 0.3, 0.3, 0.3. I've added it 3 times, okay? My answer is 0.9. Now we know that addition and multiplication, if you do repeated addition, you are doing multiplication, okay? So instead of to do all of those long methods, we are just basically doing 0.3 times 3. And you have just helped me work that out, and we know the answer is 0.9, okay? Now here we have got 300ths, add 300ths, add 300ths. So 0.03, 0.03, 0.03. Now this isn't too bad when you have got only 3 numbers, but if you've got more than 3, that's why today we're going to go on to multiplying and dividing, or multiplying today by integers. I'm hoping if I move that down there, oh no, it hasn't done it. Oh, well, let's draw a line. Here we go. Obviously you would have used a ruler, and put your decimal point straight away before you do anything else. Okay, just make that a bit bigger so you can see it. So we are doing 3 add 3 add 3. Again, we know 3 add 3 is 6, add another 3 is 9. And we're going to go to our next one. 0 add 0 add 0, it is still 0. And in our ones column, 0 add 0 add 0, it is 0. So I can tell you that 0.03 times 3 is 0.09. Okay, and then finally, we're doing it again, but this time we are going back to tenths, and it is 0.4 and 0.4 and 0.4. Oops. There we go. Oh dear me. There we go. Okay, let's put in the lines. Do a bit of a straight line for this one. And before I do anything else, I'm going to put in my decimal point so I don't forget that. Okay, remember your decimal point stays in the same position. So 4 add 4 is 8, then 8 add 4 is 12. Oh, now I've got a 2-digit number now, but it's still the same. Your 2 from the 12 goes into the tenths column, and then your 1, your 10, goes into the ones column. Now, even though it's a 10, because we've done 4 add 4 add 4, we haven't taken into account the decimal point. So we need to still take that into account and move that 1 into the ones column. So I can tell you that 0.4 times 3 is now 1.2. Okay, so very similar to when we carry numbers. If we when we are adding, we are doing that the same here. Okay then, so your words for today are exactly the same as what they have been, except today we've just added that word integer, but we know that that is a whole number. So don't get confused about an integer. Okay, so let's have a look at this question here. Teddy spends £1.50 on his lunch every day during the week. how much money does Teddy need each week? Okay, so how many days we need to first know are in a week? Well, we know that there are 7 days in a week. Okay, so we need to do £1.50 multiplied by 7. Okay, so then that would give us the total amount of money that he spends each week and how much money he needs to have each week. Now, I could do £1.50, add £1.50, add £1.50, add £1.50, all 7 times, but I'm not going to. I'm going to show you a way to do multiplication now, okay? So £1.50, so you're going to set it out like this. Remember to keep your numbers. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, so hopefully one number is in per square. There we go. And we are going to multiply by 7. So you set it out just as you would with short division, but I'm also going to show you a way with long division as well. So we're multiplying. Just set this up. I know it does take a lot longer than if we are in the classroom because it's a little bit trickier to do on the laptop. So before I do anything else, I'm going to put my decimal point in because that always stays the same. Okay, I'm going to show you long multiplication first. Now, because I've got to multiply my 7 by 3 numbers, I'm going to keep 3 decimal points. Okay. Now, you will find long multiplication on your work today. So if you are stuck while doing your work, just come back to this video and you should be able to get on with it okay then. Okay, I think we're nearly ready to do some working out. I'll just put that decimal point. Oops. Put that decimal point in again. There. Okay, so I'm showing you long multiplication to work this out. So I start off with my hundredths column and I do 7 times 0. And I know that that is 0 because any number multiplied by 0 is always 0. Now I'm going to just fill in the other columns because I've just worked out that first number, my 0. Okay, I'm not going to work out any other number just yet. In my next column, I'm going to do 5 multiplied by 7. Okay, I'm just going to show you, just go on to Dojo there. Just going to show you an example of what it shows on your sheet so you'll be able to see. Okay, so obviously we've just done the first 2 numbers. Now because we are moving on to the next number in the 10ths column, we need to put a placeholder in for the hundredths column. Okay, so we're going to put a placeholder in here and then we're going to do 7 times 5. Now 7 times 5 is 35. Now I've got 2 gaps, 2 spaces here, so I'm going to put my 3 in my 1s column and my 5 in my 10ths column. Okay, and then obviously I have not worked out 7 times 1 yet, so I can, if I want to, just put a 0 in just to hold that place value there. Okay, now I'm doing 7 times 1. So I now need to put in 2 placeholders because I've already worked those out. Now, as I said, this is long multiplication. I will show you short multiplication again, which you may find easier to do. Okay, so I've put in my 2 placeholders for my 10ths and my hundredths column. And now I'm doing 7 times 1. And I know 7 times 1 is 7. Okay, if I want to, I can put a 0 in, don't have to. In fact, I'm going to get rid of that 0 that I've put in there. Okay then. Now I need to add all of those digits up together. So my decimal point is already there ready for me. So 0 add 0 add 0 is 0. 0 add 5 add 0. I know it is 5. I can find out. There we go. And then 7. 0 add 3 add 7. And I can see straight away number bonds to 10. So my answer is 10. I'm going to put my 1 in the 10th, my 1 in the 1s column and my 0 in the 1s column and my 1 in the 10s column. So how much money then does Teddy need each week? Now, if you put the answer as just 10.50, unfortunately, wouldn't be able to give you the answer. You need to make sure that you have that pound sign in front of it. okay, because your work, you've got to have the unit of measure correct. Okay, so Teddy needs £10.50 each week. So I'm going to just skip that question. I'm going to move on to showing you how to do short multiplication now. Okay, so in short multiplication, you set it out very much the same as what you would do anyway. Okay, so before we get started, I'm going to put the decimal point in so we don't forget that. Okay, now I'm multiplying by 4. So I'm going to do 4 times 3. And I know that that is 12. So I'm going to put my 2 in its correct place. Then I'm going to carry a 1 underneath. Now I haven't finished off working out, so I can't put that 1 in my ones column because I still need to work out 4 times 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. Can't forget about that 1, and that is 17. So I can put 1 in my tens column and then 7 in my ones column. So I know that the answer from 4.3 times 4 is 17.2. Again, if I used long multiplication and I did it step by step by step, I would get the same answer. Okay. However, I find this quite easy, a little bit easier than long multiplication because I get confused with where to put numbers. It is up to you. So I'm going to show you another one, 6.5, and we're multiplying by 3. So I just move my 6.5 so we've got a square each. There we go. And we're multiplying by 3. And then I will put a multiplication sign as well. And then here I can draw my 2 equals lines straight away because I've only got one line of working out to do. Okay. And then again, before I do anything else, I'm going to put that decimal point in. It's really important that decimal point stays. Okay. So starting off with our tenths column, 5 times 3. 5 times 3 is 15. So you obviously do the same thing. You put the 5 in the tenths column and then you carry that 1 underneath the ones column because you haven't finished off working out yet, so you can't put it in the answer just yet. Then I move on to my ones. I'm doing 6 times 3, 3 times 6, commutative. 3 times 6 is 18, add the 1 is 19. So I've got 1 in my tens column and then I've got 9 in my ones column. I haven't forgot about that 1, so I know the answer to 6.5 times 3 is 19.5. Okay, I want you to have a go at 5.3 times 4 for me if you need a little bit of practice. If not, you can go on to your work. So today we are multiplying decimals by integers. So you will be able to you can use the place value counters, obviously in the place value chart here. You can draw them, obviously here shows long multiplication. You've got 2 questions to do long multiplication, but then on question 4, you've got some questions here to do, and I would perhaps use short multiplication. But again, it is up to you. Okay, and then you've got some more trickier questions onto the next page. Okay then, so we're going on to problem solving and reasoning. So obviously you can pause this video, you don't have to watch it all and be like, oh my goodness, I've got so much work to do. You can pause it, do some work and then come back to it. So let's have a look at this first question here. Circle the odd one out. So we've got 6.84 times 3. 6.84 and we're multiplying by 3. There we go. I'm just going to put my multiplication sign in there. And I'm going to just draw my lines just to speed things up a little bit. Oh, that's not a very good line at all. And perhaps we'll use a line. There we go. Okay, so we're going to put my decimal point. And then we're going to get started. So 8 times 3 is 24. So I'm going to put my 4 in the tenths column. Can't forget about that 2, so I'm going to carry the 2 underneath my ones column because we haven't finished working out yet. Then I'm going to move on to 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. Add the 2 is 14. Now again, we haven't finished carrying on, so I need to carry that 1 from the 14, that 110, and put the 4 in the ones column. And then finally, we're going to do 3 times 6. 3 times 6 is 18. Add the 1 is 19. So now I can fit in both my 1 and my 9 because we've worked out everything. So 6.83 times 3. Oh, I've done that completely wrong. I do apologise. I've mixed up my 8 and my 4. Oh dear me, Mr. Jones. Let's try and see whether we can get rid of that. I apologise. Here we all make mistakes. And let's do again 6.84. And we're multiplying by 3. Okay. Here we go. Nearly there. I know it does take a lot longer because obviously you're just watching me trying to struggle with my laptop, but hopefully you'll get the gist of it very, very soon. Put my decimal point in before we get started. So 4 times 3 is 12. So I can put my 2 in my hundredths column and I can carry my 1 underneath the tenths column. So I can then move on to doing 8 times 3. 8 times 3 is 24. Add the 1, can't forget about that 1, is 25. So that is now going to go here. And my 2 is going to carry on underneath the 1's column because we haven't finished working out yet. Then I'm going to do 3 times 6, which is 18. Add the 2, which is 20. So I've got nothing else to work out, so I can put my 2 in the tens column and I can put my 0 in the ones column. So 6.84 times 3 is 20.52. Now I want you to work out your other 2 questions and then circle the odd one out. Where it says explain your reasoning, you need to say either what the other answers are and what the difference is. Okay, so it might be, for example, the digits are in the wrong place value compared to the other 2. Okay, and then here you've got to select and arrange the cards to create a multiplication calculation. So you've got to perhaps start off with a small decimal point, so 6.83, 6.38, and then you've got to either multiply that by 7 or 8, and then you've got a range of answers there that you can choose. Okay, and then you've got to problem solve because you've got to say which cards are not needed. Okay, so practice that question first before then moving on to your problem solving and reasoning questions. So again, only 3 questions to be completed, please. So bronze questions 1 to 3, silver questions 4 to 6, and gold questions 7 to 9. Please email your teachers your work, and if you need any help, we will get back to you as soon as we can. I hope you have a lovely day, Year 6, and enjoy your weekend as best as you can. Speak to you all on Monday. Bye.